about to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions. We'll get away, this is what we waited for.
Good morning, my loves. Sabah al-Ward. I hope everybody is well. All is good here, alhamdulillah. Okay, so today we are making a couple of French baguettes and Moroccan khobz, so Moroccan bread. The first thing I'm going to do is dissolve the fresh yeast into some warm water, and after that I'm going to add a whole bag of strong white bread flour. So here I have 1.5 kilos of strong white bread flour. It does have to be this flour, not plain. Okay, to that I'm going to add about 3 teaspoons of salt. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to start to mix this in and add the water. The water shouldn't be hot, shouldn't be warm, it should just be somewhere in between. If it's too hot or too cold, it will kill the yeast. As I said in my previous bread video, I prefer to use fresh yeast. I just find it allows for a lighter bread. Okay, I'm going to slowly bring it together. Okay, a little at a time. Try not to add too much water at once, otherwise you'll end up with a sloppy, wet dough. Okay, this does take several minutes to bring together. Now I do know it's really difficult to obtain fresh yeast at the moment amidst COVID-19 pandemic, so you can use dry yeast. You can either use the sachets. I would use a whole sachet and maybe a half of another, possibly 2 in the winter months, but I tend to use 1.5 during the summer months for 1.5 kilos of flour. So you need to continue to bring this together, and then what I do, just to make it easier for myself, is cover it for 10 minutes or so. This allows the dough to settle and becomes much easier to knead. You can knead straight away if you'd fancy an arm workout. I'm just going to speed up the clip now, just to save you watching me knead. Here we go. So give it a good 10 minutes, or if you prefer, you can use a bread mixer. But as I said before in my previous videos, I prefer to do it by hand. Okay, so once you have allowed your dough to rise, it should be nice and bubbly like this. I just need to divide this up now. I'm going to make 2 Moroccan type breads, and I'm also going to make a couple of baguettes. First I'm going to sharpen my knife. You need a sharp knife to score the baguettes. So I've taken 2 sections of the dough and made this kind of shape, so long, sort of oblong shapes. And you just need to follow what I'm doing here, using my fingers to stretch it out. I'm going to then fold the dough over and over again. So folding it over, and then I'm going to seal it at the end before finally scoring my baguette. Okay, obviously the lighter your baguette, the less dough you will use and roll out. This is quite a dense type of dough, crusty topped baguette. But as I said, if you use half of this dough and stretch it out thinner and longer, it will make for a lighter baguette. So onto the tray it goes. I'm going to bake that for about 15 minutes, and you might want to turn it onto the other side so that the bottom also goes golden. Okay, I'm just going to before I do that though, I'm going to allow that to rise for a further 15 minutes. Now onto the 2 Moroccan loaves. I'm just going to pat them down into shape. As in my previous Khobz video, you need to form a flat, round, say about 2-3 centimetre thickness shape. And once you've patted this down, you want to allow again this to rise for a further 15-20 minutes. Then into the oven, electric mark 200, gas mark 556. Once you've cooked your baguettes, now it's time for the Moroccan loaves. I always like to add 5 or 6 holes, just so that it doesn't get too big and expand in the oven. So it remains nice and consistent in depth. Into the oven they go for about 15 minutes. Remember to turn them over on the other side so the other side also goes golden. Okay, so I've just cooked a tagine. This is a lamb, olive, potato and carrot quick tagine. This is your everyday typical meal. Just dishing up for the family. And I'm going to eat this with the 2 baguettes that I've just cooked. Nothing better than fresh baked baguette with a tagine. Voila! Here are the baguettes, nice and crispy and crunchy. As you can see, straight out of the oven. Saha raha.
About to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away. to a place where we don't know.